जय जगन्नाथ. गुड इव्हनिंग. शुभ संध्या. नीलाद्रो शंखमध्ये शतदळ कमळे रत्नसिंहासनस्थं सर्वालंकारयुक्तं नभघनरुचिरं संयुक्तं चाग्रजेन भद्राय वामभागे रथचरणयुतं ब्रह्मरुद्रेन्द्र वन्द्यं वेदनं सारमेशं सृजनपरिवृतं ब्रह्मधार्यो स्मरामि. परम कारुणिक अनंत कोटि ब्रह्मांडर मौडमणि कोटि कोटि ओडियांकर हृदयर आराध्य देवता समग्र विश्व चराचर रसश्च आनंद कंद परमानंद सचिदानंद अखिल रसघन विग्रह विश्व वेदनार वैद्य श्री श्री जगन्नाथंकर चरण कमल रे कोटि कोटि दंडवत. विश्व परिवेश दिवस अवसर रे समस्त दर्शक मानक शुभेच्छा और शुभकामना. On the World Environment Day, I, Dr. Namita PATTANAIK, being the host and convener of this 151 national webinar on live, welcome all the viewers to this Google platform and all the dignitaries to this Google board. As all of you know, our title is today the theme of the World Environment Day, that is Beat Plastic Pollution. It's a call for global awakening. The theme for this year's campaign, which is celebrated on June 5th today, United Nations lead the observation of this day to demand a sustainable future. For this, United Nations call on world leaders to take action as the window of opportunity to act on climate change narrows. Nowadays, plastic pollution is growing beyond human control. Urgent action is needed to contain and to replace them with environment-friendly materials. This year, World Environment Day 2023 is being hosted by the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire. The name of this state is country is Ivory Coast, who has already banned plastic bags, and the Netherlands will be its partner. As all of us know, it's a big demand of need of the hour to control plastic. Hence, our environment consists of all the living and non-living elements that surround us and interact with us and with each other. So environment evolved to sustain a balanced coexistence. So environmental balance is tipped when one or several elements proliferate beyond control. So the day celebrated on June 5th every year across the globe to raise awareness about the need to protect our environment. So let us look our theme, and today we know what is the importance of Environment Day, and I'm really happy to get such a wonderful personality today. Today's evening we have the great speaker, and he is none other than an educationist. So, respected Principal Madam, Maharaji College of Natural Law, the President of this webinar, esteemed Chief Commissioner, Dr. K.P. MISHRA, the Odisha State Bharat Scouts and Guide Chief Commissioner, and also the National Vice President and patron of this webinar, Revered Chief Speaker, Professor Chaudhary Sujakan MISHRA, the former Director, Basic Science, OUAT, and the former Head of the Department, Zoology, Basic Science. Respected Mr. Jyoti Prakash MAHARANA, the teacher and the HWB holder Scoutmaster from Puri, Master DIBYANSHU PADHI, the CUF from DB Public School MCNL BANDHBAHAL, who has proposed me yesterday to do this job. It's my executive pleasure to introduce the guest speaker of today's webinar, Dr. Chaudhary Sujakan MISHRA, the eminent scientist, a laureate teacher, and being the member of the Odisha Environmental Society, whose skills spreads from physics to metaphysics. And all of us know, as a teacher, he has published many books, and he is a brilliant scholar. Although he has retired, but now His retired life is freedom-free life. So he is doing a lot of research work, and he has already visited to different countries for his research work, and having many PhD scholars. Besides, the youngest scientist, awarded and felicitated by many organizations, not to say individually. ओडिया जातिर गर्व ओ गौरव कहले अत्युक्ति हेबनी। परिवेशविद, परिवेश पई समर्पित एक संपूर्ण व्यक्तित्व, एक चर्चित चेहरा, अध्ययन, अध्यापना तथा अनुसंधान ए तीनोटी कार्यर सम्मिश्रण रे जे व्यक्ति आज माँ, माटी, वायु, पवन, पानी ए समस्त को खूब भल पाइछंती एवं से मानको किपरि आगामी पीढ़ी पई स्टोर करी रखिछंती बा स्टोर करी रखिबा पई सदैव चेष्टित सेपरि व्यक्ति आज आम शुणा आम जाना द डॉक्टर Suryakant Mishra, the distinguished guest of this evening. Let's welcome him virtually.
Thank you.
Sir,
Namita, can I? Yes.
I'll tell you, sir.
Okay.
Just a minute.
Welcome, sir.
DIBYANSHU PADHI, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please start enchanting SLOKA and then sir will speak.
Namaskar, I am Dibyanshu Padi from JB Public School, Bandhbahal. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Today, I want to speak a few lines about Environment Day. The Earth is a wonderful planet, but despite all, man is making it polluted. Earth has greenery, water, plants, resources, but humans are making it lesser and lesser for its worth. Recently, air pollution level goes up past 320 pH because of fumes that come out of vehicles. So, UN has decided to celebrate World Environment Day. We should make our planet greener as much as we can. Plastic is the major suspect for the pollution. These cannot degrade for years. Plastic acts as micro, meso, or macro debris. Therefore, we should use biodegradable items. Be a green hero to make plastic zero. Thank you.
Good, good, very good. Now it's time. Let's watch virtual talk of Professor Mishra. Now, the floor is with you, sir. Dr. Mishra, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, Namita, for very, I would say, an introduction which I don't know whether I deserve. But I'm definitely a teacher. I have been teaching in OUAT for 35 years. It's a long 3.5 decades. And also, in addition to teaching, we have done some research on, I am basically an ecologist because I work on environmental biology and somewhat related to agriculture. Because in OUAT, if somebody is doing research, it has to be somehow linked to agricultural practices. And that is why I chose the animal model, very popular Arthome. So Arthome is my model. So I will tell something about it. How is it related to microplastics also? Just briefly, because I'm joining with my phone because there is some internet problem in my room.
Yes, sir.
So that's why I am joining from the phone. I will be brief because I am not able to share my slides, etc.
Yes,
Maybe
sir.
in future, sometimes we will have a elaborate discussion. Anyway, so let us come to that today's celebration. We are celebrating the World Environment Day, and the theme is to beat plastic pollution. All of us know are very familiar with plastic. We know it's a polymer, and it's chemically manufactured. And in modern life in 21st century is not possible without plastic. You cannot just think that I will be leaving plastic in a few years. When you get up in the morning, you go to the toilet, you look for your toothbrush made up of plastic. You look for the toothpaste, the container is also plastic. You look for the soap case, which is made up of plastic. And you are sitting on a chair which is also made up of plastic. And if you are driving a car, the interior of the car is plastic. So everywhere you'll find plastic has become so indispensable in modern life that you just cannot think of living without plastic. But uh, yeah, there is some disturbance because I'm outside the building. Anyway, so am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So
May I request you, sir? Just ଟିକେ ଯୋଉ ଲାଇଟ୍ ଟା ପଡୁଛି ଟିକେ ତାର
okay,
ବ୍ୟାକ୍ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ବ୍ୟାକ୍ ସାଇଡ୍ ରେ ଲାଇଟ୍ ଟାକୁ ରଖିଦେଲେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କ୍ଲିୟର ଦେଖାଯିବ। ହଁ, now
is
it's
it
okay.
better now?
Yes, yes, better.
Okay. So now I just told you that we cannot live without plastic. But you see why then we have kept, or the United Nations has kept today's theme as to beat plastic pollution. Because plastic is definitely a very useful product, a very important invention, you can say, in science. But in the long run, if you look at the growth of plastic production in the entire world, from the 2020 to 2010 to 2020, in this decade, there has been 56% rise in plastic production, because this is the period where the plastic, different types of plastics were manufactured and they were used in for various purposes. And that ultimately lead, when you are consuming a particular product, the waste generation also simultaneously increases. And that is why when you are using a plastic chair, it has become old and it has broken, so we throw it into the municipality bin. So that is the practice. Or if you are using a plastic wrap in a in a food, and once you take out the food, you throw it into the bin. So that is why the waste generation also simultaneously increases. And then what happens when these plastic waste materials are thrown into the open? Very small part of the plastic is recyclable. So whatever plastics we use, so only 40% of it is recyclable. 60% cannot be recycled, because all types of plastics cannot be recycled. So what we do with this, we just give it to a kavadi wala, or to throw it onto the road. So what happens if you go to the dumping yards by municipal corporation, you'll also find a number of plastic waste, broken plastics are lying there. And when it comes in contact with the sunlight, and also with the rising temperature, the now Bhubaneswar average temperature is almost 40 degrees Celsius. So in summer particularly, or in rest of the year, there is adequate sunlight in our area, and with the sunlight and high temperature, these plastic broken pieces become brittle, and very small pieces of plastic they come out of it, and they ultimately go into the soil, right? So these when the small plastics are of the size less than 5 millimeter, we call it as microplastic. And these microplastics can further be degraded into nanoplastics. So nowadays, what is the problem with this? That sometimes we are not able to see these microplastics, because they are very small in size. We are able to see a plastic bottle, but we will not be able to see a microplastic unless we take a sample and not observe it under a microscope. And sometimes you have to take the help of electron microscope to measure the microplastic particles. So we have also measured here in OUAT, we have an electron microscope. So I have also measured the size of microplastics. Now the question comes, what is the problem if the microplastic is produced? If the microplastic is going into the soil, what problem it can cause? If some of you have read biology, at least those who are basically they are biologists or have some knowledge of biology, you must be knowing that the soil is a living entity. We call it as a living entity or living body because soil contains a number of soil animals like earthworms, like microarthropods, like nematodes. So, and many and millions or billions of bacteria, fungus, and actinomycetes. So all these are very, very useful for the soil because they maintain the soil quality. Soil quality means if you go to the physical quality, chemical quality, or biological quality. So these are maintained by these soil organisms. So when the plastics go into the soil, the microplastics especially, they interfere in the growth and also reproduction of the soil animals and also the growth of the microorganisms. So what is the problem? If the microorganisms are affected or the soil animals are affected, so what problem it can cause? So normally in the soil, if you remember, uh, if we are dumping any kind of organic material like the vegetable waste, like the dead body of an animal, so after a few days you'll find only the if it is an animal, only skeleton is there. The rest of the soft part of the body is it almost disappears. So that is because the microorganisms and these small soil animals, they help in the decomposition process. When microplastics will be continuously be they will go into the soil, they will ultimately impact or they will affect the growth of these animals, their reproduction, and they can also reduce the number of microorganisms which are responsible for the decomposition process. And that is why it is now advised. So what can you do? So we can only think about how to reduce the type of plastic waste we are throwing into the environment. So that means we have to think of those kinds of plastics which can be recycled. That is why everybody now, the government is also, encouraging not to use single-use plastic. Polythene, for example, is a single-use plastic. So we use polythene bags. Nowadays, the Bhubaneswar Municipal Corporation, for example, is discouraging the using of polythene bags, and now they put fine to the vendors that you cannot sell the but the problem doesn't lie there. So one has to stop the production of the single-use plastic. The government has to take steps so that the polythene bags will not be manufactured. And then there is also, you have to think of alternatives. So if you are not using the polythene bags, what else? So you just remember 10, 15 years back or even 20 years back when we were kids, when we were going to the market, we were using cloth bags or jute bags. So switch over to jute bags or cloth bags so that you don't require a polythene bag. So that is why nowadays when today is the World Environment Day, when we have taken theme to beat plastic pollution. So it is, if you look at this, theme, if somebody says that I will stop or I will see that India becomes completely free of plastic in another 10 years, it is ridiculous. You cannot just think about leaving plastic, but you can reduce the use of plastic where alternative use is possible. For example, I just gave you the example of a plastic. You can replace a polythene bag with a jute bag or even a cloth bag. Similarly, if you must have seen that in during the COVID pandemic, majority of us were using the N95 masks. And on the road, you'll find many people were, after using it, is throwing into the road. So N95 masks also contain plastic fibers. And these many medical equipments also are made up of plastic. So instead of a N95 mask, you can think of a mask made up of cotton or some other material which is biodegradable. So that is why people now, why we are going against plastic, but we have to think of certain alternatives. Now people are thinking, for example, about those kind of plastics which can be manufactured from plants. So plants have certain products which can be isolated from them, and you can synthesize bioplastics which will be biodegradable. That means microorganisms can decompose them. Okay, so that is also at a very early stage. You cannot just think that we will be using bioplastics in another 5 years or 10 years. So that may take another 20 years or 30 years. Similarly, compostable plastics. That means we have to manufacture plastics which can be composted just like any other, like a paper or like any vegetable waste. So these are decomposed, or they are compostable. So similarly, we can think of the going for, or inventing some kind of plastic which can be degraded, which are compostable. So these are the possibilities which we have to be positive, because you cannot just think of leaving plastic immediately, but these are the future. You can say this is the future science, rather say. We say future science, just like people did not even think that we will be on the moon or we can send a vehicle to the Mars. But now it is possible. So these can be possible in another few decades, that we will be able to completely replace synthetic polymers with biopolymers. Now, coming to awareness, why we are so much concerned about plastic is that I'll rather tell that we have done some kind of research in OUAT that how the microplastics are affecting earthworms, for example. So we have seen that when microplastics are there in the soil and earthworms consume them, microplastics themselves may not be very harmful to the soil animals, but when they are present along with, for example, in agricultural field, farmers are using pesticides. And similarly, simultaneously, microplastics are there in the agricultural soil, which may come from anywhere. And when microplastics is there and pesticide molecules are there, so the microplastics can attract the pesticides, and so that is called adsorption. So various types of microplastics can adsorb to various types of pesticide molecules and also to heavy metals, and transfer it into the body of the soil animals like earthworm. We have seen the microplastics facilitate or accelerate the entry of pesticides into the body of earthworms. And these earthworms, they can be eaten by other animals, because earthworms are commonly eaten by even the fish or even birds. So microplastics through the earthworms can reach the bird's body or fish body and ultimately into a human system. So now it seems very peculiar, because every day we are using bottled water, which is available in India. So even in our own state. So wherever you go, you carry a plastic bottle. So if the bottle with the water is kept in the shop for some, many bottled water is kept in the sun outside the shop, you must have seen. And when it is kept for a long time, this water contains maybe hundreds of thousands of microplastics, and these will go into our body. And it has already been detected by scientists that microplastics can reach the vital organs like liver, like kidney, even the human brain. So recently there was a news in the Times of India that scientists have detected microplastics in the human brain. So you just imagine what kind of danger it can cause. If the microplastics will block the capillaries, which supply oxygen to because those who have some knowledge about biology, there is a blood-brain barrier, which doesn't allow anything to enter into brain except oxygen. So if the capillaries are blocked, and there will be oxygen supply to the brain will stop, and that will ultimately lead to coma. So the person will lead to coma. So this kind of dangerous situations can arise if we go on using plastics, producing large quantity of microplastics, and these microplastics going into the animal's body and ultimately coming into our body. And that is why when humans, now the scientists all over the world are concerned that the human health is going to be affected in coming years because of plastic waste. And that is why this theme of the World Environment Day has been kept like beat plastic pollution. Because normally we are not concerned about if the earthworm is affected or a cat is affected. We are not bothered. So when our own health is affected, so naturally we will take it very seriously. And that's why I say humans are always very selfish people or selfish animals, unlike other animals. But the pollution is mostly caused by human activity. Plastic has been invented by us. Plastic waste is being generated by us. A cat or a dog or a tiger doesn't produce plastic waste. So we have to think of certain alternatives which will ultimately lead to the minimal use of plastic. You cannot stop its use, but you have to reduce its use. So reduce, recycle, and think of alternative to the synthetic polymer, which is the plastic we use. We have to think of biopolymers or compostable polymers. So this is the future science. And if you look at the problems it is causing, not only I told you about the soil, but if you now see the entire globe, I think the ocean floor is now coated with plastic. And that is why if you see the major seas and oceans have become almost packed with plastic waste. And what the problem is, many animals which live in the seas and oceans, like the turtles, for example. I will give you a very interesting example how the turtles confuse, because turtles normally feed on jellyfish. But I have seen a turtle confusing a polythene bag to a jellyfish and consuming it. And that ultimately going to choke its alimentary canal and ultimately leading to the death of the turtles. And scientists have observed that maybe hundreds of thousands of sea animals are dying because of this plastic pollution by consuming this plastic waste which is being thrown into the ocean. You are not directly throwing into the ocean, but wherever you are throwing, it is ultimately going into the ocean through the river or through other means. So apart from this land and water pollution, I was talking about microplastic or nanoplastic, which can easily be flown from one, through the air. It can be transported from one region to another, and we will be inhaling that, and that can get deposited in our lungs and cause serious problem in future. So all these are the problems we are going to face unless we reduce the pollution of plastic in the coming years. And I'll be repeating, just thinking that I'm going to replace or completely stop using plastic will be ridiculous, and we have to think of reducing it. I will give a very good example how countries like Singapore. I went to Singapore in 2019 in an Indian team. 20 professors were sent by the government of India. I was in the team, and I was looking for a water bottle there. Just like in India, we have water bottles everywhere, plastic bottles. But I came to know that the entire country doesn't have a plastic water bottle. So they don't go for using a plastic water bottle. So then how to get a safe drinking water then? So I asked the hotel boy. He said that you go to the toilet and drink water, sir. That the water in the toilet is also zero bacteria. So that means the country, being a very small country, has developed a membrane technology which can produce zero bacteria water. Even the water you use in the toilet is also free from bacteria. So that is the reason why you don't require a plastic bottle to carry water to a meeting. So they don't have, they provide you with a steel bottle, stainless steel bottle. You just collect the water from the tap and drink, and just take a glass and drink. So this type of situation has to be there in India, in our country and in the state. That means when you're going for a meeting, please don't buy a plastic bottle. Rather, provide the water in a glass, or ask the person that you please go to the aquaguard and there is disposable paper cups. You can use that. So these are the steps we can take, and we can be aware on this particular auspicious day that we will reduce the use of plastic where the plastic is not required. I think that will be my message to all of you. And I must thank again Namita for giving me this opportunity. I would have been a longer, I would have talked for a longer time, but I'm connected with the phone. So I think whatever I thought, whatever message I wanted to give, I think that this is enough. So thank you again. And I
Ve-
must thank all the audience who have joined, and at
Yes, sir.
least you can also interact. You can
Yeah,
ask
yeah, yeah. Okay.
question. Yeah.
Very nice presentation, sir. We'll carry your message, reduce the use of plastic also, and that reduce and recycle. We have to
Yes,
think
yes.
about that. That is the most important part. So we are having here Dr. Harinder Singh from Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and
Yeah,
we're having Jyoti Jay sir. Jay sir, are you there? Jay sir from Maharashtra, Pune.
very good.
And we are having Muhammad Osama, Dr. Muhammad Osama. He is from the resource person of School and Mass Education, Government of Orissa. And
Okay.
we are having Dr. Rekha Das, ma'am.
Yeah,
The
name
yeah,
is there.
ma'am is there. And we are having the Balangir, Titlagarh, Jugal Kishore sir, Dr. Jugal Kishore Sarangi sir. So all are veteran in their activities. And Mr. Narendra Deuri from Samalpur,
Yeah.
Naima Mustafa from Srinagar. So if there is
So
any question, uh,
yeah, I would like to interact if someone wants to know something about microplastics, because that is the area where we are doing research also. We are continuing our research on how microplastics are going to affect the ecosystem. So if you know the reason of the how it's going to affect, then you can think of a remedy.
yeah, Sunita,
I think I'd
Sunita,
like,
Madam
yeah.
Sunita from Jharkhand is a
Okay.
research, yeah, scholar. Sunita, ma'am, you can ask question and you, yeah,
Yeah, ma'am.
yes,
Namaskar, ma'am.
namaste. You can ask a question, yeah, interact
हमारे
with sir.
मुझे आज के परिवेश में इन्वायरमेंट के लिए अगर कहीं भी कुछ करते हैं, खास करके इतना ग्लोबल वार्मिंग और ये सब को देखते हुए, जैसे हम लोग अपने विद्यालय में भी पौधों का लगाना, ये सब कार्य कर रही है। आप लोगों ने इतना जो कार्य किया, उन सब के लिए हम अपने बहुत खुश होते हैं और चाहते हैं कि हर लोग इस काम को आगे बढ़कर करें, क्योंकि पर्यावरण नहीं तो हम नहीं।
Yeah.
क्योंकि शुद्ध वायु शुद्ध चाहिए, बिना वायु के हम श्वसन कर ही नहीं सकते। उसके बाद भोजन आवाज सब चाहिए होता है। आज की डेट में तो आपसे हमारा कोई प्रश्न नहीं, आपके जितने भी आपने बताया वो हमारे लिए बहुत ही जानकारी का एक स्रोत था और बहुत ज्यादा मुझसे प्रभावित भी है और हमको जानकारी प्राप्त हुई। आप सभी को बहुत हमारे तरफ से धन्यवाद
जी।
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Very informative, knowledgeable, excellent lecture, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question from you? आपको कुछ
No,
से
sir.
पूछिए हैं?
Okay, if you don't have any question, now we can wind up the program. Sir has already attended 4 programs today.
And the
And
whole
I'm,
day.
yeah, whole
That's a
day.
pleasure. This is a pleasure. I had been to Institute of Life Science today in the morning, interacted with the students, research students and scientists. Then to a government organization, Odisha Hydropower Corporation. There also we had a plantation program also in the premises. And they have put names of the people who have planted, and they will take care of because
That's right.
nowadays the plantation has just taking a photograph while planting a sapling and then forgetting the next day should not be, because this is peak summer now. So they have gone for plantation, but they have assured that they will take care of the plants and so that it grows into trees. So this should be another important message to all, that at least take care of the plants which are in your in your area, and see that they are protected. So plants are there means the environment is protected.
Yeah. So there are many
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes,
Yeah.
Ivani, please.
Very good evening, ma'am. Very good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes,
We are actually belonging to very humble organizations. We are doing a little bit. But since everything lies with the decision makers, why are these foreign companies allowed to have FDI in our countries and manufacture mineral waters and sold in plastics? Why these SUPs are given a chance to do this? During Arvind Agarwal's time, when he was a collector, he was a DM here. We were deep into water, like up to knee level, and we used to take out these single-use plastics, which actually jammed Puri for 3 days, consistently for more than
exactly.
76 hours. But still, then this is
I
not
think I think I
promulgated.
think government will take serious note of the theme which has been selected for this year, and will take drastic step. If if they don't take, they don't replace the water bottles. So they should start from replacing the water bottle at least. Safe drinking water can be
It's
supplied.
always
I think in Odisha also government is taking. Yeah. Hello.
Yes,
My
Shivani.
better half is located in Singapore. So I agree with you. He also says that plastics
Okay.
are not available in Singapore,
Yes,
Thailand, and
yes,
other
yes.
places. So we sometimes become amazed, but later on we find that we are still in that old age kind of hunter kind of area. We really wish to do something, but it's not in our hands because something like power is not concentrated in us. So it's a request
Exactly.
from all of us people who are very ordinary folks, that if the decision makers, the advisors on environmental panel could at least give
Right.
a detrimental warning that this is going to hamper. If you want to be on the higher rank in the list of non-polluted countries, we in the sense every one of us. If you
I
could,
think you said every individual should think seriously about it. I just attended a meeting in Odisha Hydropower Corporation. I was just watching if a water bottle is there, but they didn't have a
yes,
water
sir.
bottle in the meeting, and they did not wrap the flowers in a in a plastic. It's a user
That's
practice,
amazing. That's
and
amazing. That's
they
amazing.
covered it with cloth, and they gave us water in paper cups. So
Yes.
these are the steps one can take. This is a very small contribution. Individually, if we become conscious, I think things are going to change. And I will give another example. Just 10 years back, when we were going to the sea beach in Puri, in Odisha,
Ji, sir.
you will almost walk over water bottles and polythenes. But now, if you go to the beach, you will not find a single polythene or a water bottle there, because people have
Not
become
much,
so
sir.
conscious. So this
Absolutely.
awareness is prime thing if you are going to tackle any kind of pollution. Every citizen has to be aware about what. Even in Bhubaneswar, every roadside vendor has a bin with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this was
Yes,
not
sir.
5 years back. So that can happen everywhere in the country. So I think these are the small steps we can take. Things will not change overnight, so it
Yeah.
will take its own
Yes,
time.
sir.
But every citizen has to be aware about it.
Yeah. Shivani
Thank you so
ma'am.
much, sir.
Yeah.
Ji, ma'am. Pranam, ma'am.
Shivani ma'am, I'll be very happy if you will share your phone number to me, either through this chat box,
Ji, ma'am.
and I'll talk to you regarding this. And don't underestimate our power.
Yeah, absolutely,
Wow.
ma'am. We are trying
Yeah.
our bit because anywhere
Me
we
too.
go,
And
to be honest, you might laugh. I take
yeah,
my
no.
own plate and glass.
Yes, yes.
It's good,
Everywhere.
very good, very good.
People
We are.
laugh at me, but it's okay. Doesn't matter.
Yes, yes.
And what is
So
the next step? We will approach the government through proper channel. I'll discuss with you. We'll
we must. We must.
organize and we'll organize, we'll have a signature campaign, then we'll meet the corresponding different heads of the department, like that. We'll do something. We'll
I'll be
not,
fortunate, ma'am, to be part of it under
yeah,
your
yeah,
guidance.
yeah, yeah.
Thank
We'll
you so
do.
much, sir. Pranam, sir.
So
Thank you.
kindly share your phone number. You know my phone
Ji,
number?
ma'am.
You
Yeah,
know
ma'am.
my phone number?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So kindly send to me, so that we'll have a discussion. What we'll do? Small things. We'll join your hands and we'll do something.
Yeah, ma'am. We are
Okay.
doing mostly now
Yeah.
basis. We are doing with the DFO department.
And uh,
But I don't think on my part, I mean to say that it's not enough. It's not
yeah,
enough.
yeah. Many things to do, because the only thing is that we are having.
The mentality is that if
Yeah,
something goes
yeah.
from me more to padela to, ठीक है more to padela. That itself
Right.
is hampering. Unless and until it affects us, we don't understand the consequences that are going to be grave.
To be sure and God, everyone present over here, let's promise that we will do at least one program, 1 point program in our house to reduce the use of plastic. For example, the water bottle. So let us
Ji, ma'am.
replace the
Simple, simple.
yeah,
And carry the cloth bags to the market.
yes, and
Carry the cloth bags to the
carry,
market. Don't
yeah,
use bottled water. So these two steps
yeah.
will change the scenario.
Yes, and one more request: the substitute for this, we are using the plastic bottle. Today in the evening, I was also talking to my mother. When I have given two that steel bottle, but she is not able to carry because she is 75 years old. So she told me, "मुझे वो plastic वाला bottle दे दो." क्यों? There is no substitute. So I was also thinking today I'll ask Sujesa about this. So Singapore, it is a good thing. In many of the countries also, we are using the toilet water for drinking. It's not bad. Toilet is also so neat and clean. You can't believe in their country. So we have to
No,
look
no,
up.
that
My
water is
request is,
zero. Water is zero B. It's a zero B water. They are
yeah,
supplying to every household, and it's actually the entire responsibility has been taken by the government. The government produces zero B water and
See, to
supplies
be
it to
honest, isn't it
every household.
Ganga water where we are throwing all the dead bodies, the cadavers, the corpses?
Yes, yes,
But it also
yes,
has bacteriophages, and we are trying to clean our entire house using that. So we are
yes.
technically the most fortunate country.
yes,
Hmm.
yes. No, if we will go to the route of our water supply also, this is also
Yes.
bad. So, however, uh, we like the topic, today's topic, very much. And thanks to Sujesa, he has explained many from the grassroots level what to do and very practical. So now it's time to present the certificate, e-certificate to Advocate Ashok Kumar Ratha from Puri. May I request Ashok sir, Sujay sir will hand over
Okay,
virtually,
okay,
and yes,
mm,
this is the certificate. Advocate
okay,
Ashok
fine.
Kumar Ratha,
Okay,
uh,
okay,
yeah, from Puri.
okay.
Yes, Ashok sir, are you there?
So
Samikya?
you are going to send the e-certificates through
Yes.
mail or what?
Yeah. To mail, to WhatsApp, to all the participants.
Okay, fine,
Yeah.
very good.
So it's a memory. So
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
and it's a binding rule of our webinar, and we have to give it. And I'm also thankful to Professor Sujesa, who has given not only time, very valuable suggestions and very active suggestions, those which can be put into action. And to remember us, a small memento for sir. So,
Okay,
okay, sir.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now,
Oh,
our sir, Mr. Jyoti Prakash Maharana, sir, he is assistant teacher from Uttarakhand UGP School Puri, who has taken keen interest uh,
okay.
for such webinar. Yesterday night, we have decided, and those people, they have worked a lot till in the midnight up to 2 p.m. and we could able to gather such persons and maybe very less. But this program will continue and this program will be in the YouTube so that everybody can see, and everybody, if you have any doubt, if you have to learn something, you can go through it. So this is our motto, to change the world what you have got just beforehand. And in future, what would like to see our future earth in which way, and what is your contribution? So today our contribution will be from the grassroots level, from our family, then we'll think about the community. So with these words, I would like to request Jyoti sir, Jyoti Prakash sir, are you there?
Yes,
Yes,
madam.
yes, please. Proposing
Namaskar, madam.
for thanks.
Namaskar, sir.
Yes, sir.
Om Ma Saraswati Mahabhage Vidye Kamalochane Vidya Rupe Visalakhi Vidyam Dehi Namastute.
Can I have your video, please? Would like to take
Yes,
a
madam.
one
Yes,
part.
madam. Yes, madam.
Yes.
Namaskar, sir. ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରଣାମ କରୁଛି। Respected Namita madam, respected Professor C.S.K. MISHRA sir, and all participants present here. Good evening all. ମୁଁ ଶୁଣୁଥିଲି ସାରଙ୍କର ସେଇ କଥା ଆମର ମାଇକ୍ରୋପ୍ଲାଷ୍ଟିକ୍ସ ଉପରେ ଏବଂ ତାର କିପରି ଇମ୍ପାକ୍ଟ ପଡୁଛି ଆମର ଜୀବନଶୈଳୀ ଉପରେ, ବହୁତ ଭଲ ଲାଗିଲା। ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ପର୍ବ, ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ଦାୟିତ୍ୱ, ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଦେବା ପାଇଁ। First of all, I would like to thank our chief speaker, Professor C.S.K. MISHRA sir, former director, Basic Sciences, OUAT, and head Department of Zoology, for his interesting, innovative, and informative sessions about the topic Beat Plastic Pollution on this occasion of World Environment Day 2023. Sir, ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଏହି ସେସନ ଆମକୁ ବହୁତ ଭଲ ଲାଗିଲା। ମୁଁ ବିଶେଷ ଭାବେ ମୁଁ ଜଣେ ସାଇନ୍ସ ଟିଚର ସାର୍। ମୁଁ ମଧ୍ୟ CBZ ପଢଉଛି ସ୍କୁଲରେ। ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ବହୁତ ମଧ୍ୟ ଇଣ୍ଟରାକ୍ସନ କରୁଛି। ଆମର ବିଶେଷ କରି ପ୍ଲାଷ୍ଟିକ ର ୟୁଜ ଉପରେ ଆମର ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଯୋଉ ସମାଜରେ ପ୍ଲାଷ୍ଟିକ ରାକ୍ଷସ ଭାବରେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଦେଖାଦେଇଛି, ସେଇଟା ଆମେ ସମସ୍ତେ ଆମେ ସେଥିରେ ବହୁତ ମଧ୍ୟ କ୍ଷତିଗ୍ରସ୍ତ ହେଉଛେ। ଆପଣ ଆଜି ବହୁ ଇନଫର୍ମେଟିଭ ଜିନିଷ ବହୁତ କହିଲେ, ଯୋଉଟା କି ମୋର ନିଶ୍ଚିନ୍ତ ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କର ଇଣ୍ଟରାକ୍ସନ ସହାୟ ହେବ। ସେଥିପାଇଁ ପର୍ସନାଲି ମୋ ତରଫରୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ବହୁତ ବହୁତ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଦଉଛି। ଏବଂ ମୁଁ ଆଶା ରଖୁଛି ସାର୍ ଆଗାମୀ ଦିନରେ ଯଦି କିଛି ଆବଶ୍ୟକ ପଡେ, ନିଶ୍ଚିନ୍ତ ଭାବରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କଠୁ ଆଉ କିଛି ଶିକ୍ଷା ଲାଭ କରିପାରିବି ଏବଂ ପରାମର୍ଶ ନେଇପାରିବି ଏବାଉଟ ଏନଭାରମେଣ୍ଟ ଆମର ପରିବେଶ ଉପରେ କେମିତି ଆମେ କିପରି ରକ୍ଷା କରିପାରିବା। ଆଗାମୀ ଦିନରେ ମ୍ୟାଡାମଙ୍କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଅନୁରୋଧ କରୁଛି, ସାର୍ଙ୍କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆମେ ନିଶ୍ଚିନ୍ତ ପାଇବା, ଆଉ କିଛି ତାଙ୍କଠୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଏଇଭଳି ଶିଖିବା ପାଇଁ ଆମେ ସେ ସୁଯୋଗ ନିଶ୍ଚିନ୍ତ ପାଇବା। ତାପରେ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଦେବି ମୋର ଆଦର୍ଶ ଯୋଉ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଆମର ନମିତା ମ୍ୟାଡାମ କହୁଥିଲେ, ଆମେ କାଲି ରାତି 2ଟା ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ସାର୍ କଥାବାର୍ତ୍ତା ହଉଥିଲୁ। ସତ କଥା, ଆମେ ତ ଏମିତି ବହୁତ ରାତିରେ କଥାବାର୍ତ୍ତା ହଉଛୁ କେମିତି ୱେବିନାର କରିବୁ। ଆମେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ 151th ୱେବିନାର କଲୁଣି। ପ୍ରଥମରୁ ମୁଁ ମ୍ୟାଡାମଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଅଛି, ଆମର
ସମସ୍ତେ ଅଛନ୍ତି।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ବହୁତ ବହୁତ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ। ସ୍ପେଶାଲ ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ୍ସ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଦେବି, ଏଭଳି ୱେବିନାର ଆପଣ ଆରେଞ୍ଜ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଏବଂ ଅଲ ଓଭର ଇଣ୍ଡିଆର ଆମର ସବୁ ଷ୍ଟେଟ ର କୋଣ ଅନୁକୋଣରୁ ସମସ୍ତେ ଏଥିରେ ଜଡିତ ହେଇକି ଆଟାଚ ହେଇକି ରହୁଛନ୍ତି। ସମସ୍ତେ ସେମାନଙ୍କର ମତାମତ ଦଉଛନ୍ତି, ବହୁତ ଭଲ ଲାଗୁଛି ମ୍ୟାଡାମ। ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ବହୁତ ବହୁତ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ। ଏମିତି ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମ କରନ୍ତୁ। ଆମର ସବୁ ରାଜ୍ୟର କୋଣ ଅନୁକୋଣରୁ ସମସ୍ତେ ଯେଭଳି ଭାବରେ ଆମ ସହିତ ମିଶିକି ରହୁଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ରୁହନ୍ତୁ। ଏବଂ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଦେବି ଆମର ଛତିଶଗଡ଼, ଝାଡଖଣ୍ଡ, ପଞ୍ଜାବ, ସୁଦୂର ଜାମ୍ମୁ କାଶ୍ମୀର, ସବୁ ଷ୍ଟେଟ ରୁ ମ୍ୟାଡାମ, ସବୁ ଷ୍ଟେଟ ରୁ ସବୁ ରାଜ୍ୟର କୋଣ ଅନୁକୋଣରୁ ଯୋଗଦାନ କରିଥିବା ଆମର ଅଲ୍ ପାର୍ଟିସିପାଣ୍ଟସ समस्त पार्टिसिपेंट को
special thanks to Sonu Kumar, journalist from Bihar.
yes madam, Sonu Kumar sir from Bihar, special thanks.
Harendra
Yes,
sir,
sir.
Harendra
Yes,
sir.
sir.
from
yes
MP.
sir, yes madam, yes madam,
MP.
हरेंद्र सर मैडम समस्त स्पेशल थैंक्स मो तरफ बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मु एमती आज सेशन बहुत भल लगे समस्त बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। ये वर्ल्ड एनवायरनमेंट डे रे आमे एकाठी होजे कि हमर एनवायरनमेंट आम हाथ रे सर कहउथले आमे निजे ए एथिबे दाई प्लास्टिक रो जो वर्तमान क्षयक्षति आम समाज पर पड़ुछि सेति आमे जनसाधारण ही दायी तेणु आम किपरि बहुत कम व्यवहार करवा एवं से आम हाथ में अच्छी। आज मैडम गोटे कथा कही रखा चाहिए आम टी विलंबर जॉइन कली बहुत दुखित कहीं आम जाइए आज आम ब्लॉक एजुकेशन ऑफिस रे मीटिंग थी आज वर्ल्ड एनवायरनमेंट डे अवसर में आमर से किसी प्लांटेशन होता आज किसी आम से वृक्षरोपण कलु आमर समस्त से ऑफिस रे कर्मचारी माने आठू 6टा संध्या 6टा फेरिक आसली तेणु जॉइन कर विलंब हो जाता से दुख प्रकाश करुच्ची आज बहुत किसी शिखिली सार आउ थे सार को बहुत धन्यवाद देवी समस्त पार्टिसिपेंट को धन्यवाद देवी और नमिता मैडम को स्पेशल थैंक्स देवी ये वेबिनार आयोजन कर आगामी दिन आयोजन करूँ आम एमती बहुत किसी जिनस निश्चय शिखा पाऊ जोटा कि आम निज जीवन शैली को आम निजे परिमार्जित करूँ। धन्यवाद सर, मेनी मेनी थैंक्स यू, थैंक्स, धन्यवाद। जय जगन्नाथ।
जय जगन्नाथ कहीदेले मु से गोटे जिन अपेक्षा करी भगवान इच्छा नथिले आज आम एत जन व्यक्ति सारा ओडिशा रु सारा भारत रु आज जोग देइछे एवं समस्ते किपरि भलरे रुहंतु जगन्नाथ आशीर्वाद पांतु। आगामी दिन रे पुणी जगन्नाथंकर जो नीतिकांति चलीची एबे प्रत्येक दिन तंकर जो कार्यक्रम चलीची से विषय रे आमे अन्य मानक केमति जणैबा सेति पई मु पुरी रो समस्त व्यूअर्स मान को अनुरोध करिवि से माने तार पई टिके सहयोग करिवे। आमे नेक्स्ट दिन जहाँ जहाँ जो जो दिन थिबो नीलाद्री विजय ठारू आरंभ करी सब प्रकार कार्यक्रम रथ यात्रा पर्यंत आमे से गुडी को करिबा। हमर ए उद्देश्य होची वेबिनार रे घरे बसिकरी मध्य ऑफलाइन रे लोक माने बाहर को जाउछन्ती किछि लोक अछन्ती ऑनलाइन रे घरे रही संध्या बेले हमर कार्यक्रम को बहुत सुंदर भाबरे उपभोग करछन्ती एवं शिक्षणीय होबा जो शिखी मध्य पारुछन्ती। तेनु आजिर ए कार्यक्रम को जे समृद्धि करछन्ती जहाँकर उपस्थित हम समस्त को खाली आप्यायित करिछि न बहुत नॉलेज देछि से लागि मु निश्चित भाबरे पुणी तारे जगन्नाथ पाखरे तांकर आसु कामना करी बहुत भल रहू स्वास्थ्य आगामी दिन में से एमती कार्यक्रम करूथांतु। प्रोफेसर C.S.K मिश्रा सर, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you, Namita, and thank you all for the patient hearing. So I think I can leave now.
सर मो
Okay.
जस्ट खाली बंद करी रिकॉर्डिंग टा पड़
Okay.
जिवे सर।
Thank you.